We're joined by Trent May from Grand Canyon. Coach, can you start out by telling us about your team and your expectations for the season?
Yeah, first and foremost, we'll start with the expectation piece. We're excited about what we have brought in, and with the players we have, staff that we have, we're looking to win a conference championship. Looking to have a great non-conference. We play a schedule. We're looking to capitalize on that as well, and so we're looking for a great year with the experience that we have, with the leadership that we have, and with the style of basketball we're going to be playing. So pretty excited about things.
The Lopes have some big games on the schedule, including traveling to Duke early in the year and playing host to Final Four participant Washington on December 1st. How do games like that help your program now and in the future?
Well, the good thing about what we're doing at Grand Canyon is we're able to bring in great talent to our university as well. We've had Louisville on our home floor. Yes, we are going to Duke this year, but that's in a home-and-home series. There's a lot of opportunities to go get some money games with big programs, big schools. Fortunately, we get to do home-and-home games. So we're at Duke this year. Next year, they'll be on our court. We're doing a home-and-home with University of Washington, and we get them to come to our place first. So what we're trying to do is bring in the great women's basketball to the Valley, into Phoenix specifically. And so it's fun to be able to bring great programs into your environment, to your arena, and to put on a great show, for the city of Phoenix.
GCU is in its final year of transition to Division I. How does knowing that you'll be eligible for the postseason in one more year affect your recruiting?
It's been really good. I think we've been able to bring in some good talent, even with the limited factors of being able to play in the conference tournament and postseason, the NCAA tournament. But now we don't have to have that conversation anymore. In the past, we had to explain that, kind of identify not so much what we can't do, but what we're able to do. But that conversation now is a moot point, seeing that this is our last year. So really excited about what that's going to do. And again, we brought in some talent the last couple of years, some really good talent this year. And so this next year and the years moving forward, there's great optimism, and we've just made a lot of strong waves out there in the recruiting land.
Jessica Gajewski's picked first team All-WAC in both the coaches and media preseason polls. What do you expect from her this season?
Well, I'm thankful for that acknowledgement of what she's capable of doing. Her freshman year, she played with a stress fracture in her back. Last year, because of the loss of two players because of injury, in Casey Rarick and August Touchard, she had to carry a lot of the load, especially the scoring from the perimeter. Now we have a great surrounding cast around her, and she's healthy. And so we're excited about her year. We're excited that people did acknowledge in both instances what she's capable of doing. And again, now that she's again healthy, so strong supporting cast, we're looking for her to have a great junior campaign.
Your assistant coach, Crystal Thomas, had an interesting summer playing for the Seattle Storm of the WNBA. What does having someone like Crystal around your program help both in development of your current players and recruitment of future players?
Well, first and foremost, she's a phenomenal person. We can look at the accolades of her playing at Duke and playing on 3 WNBA teams and still able to play and contribute as she did with the Seattle Storm. But what's so important to our program and just our culture is that she's able to mentor women in a strong capacity. They have a lot of respect for her, who she is, and how she carries herself. She does a phenomenal job of teaching the game. She's on the recruiting trail right now, and at the same time, but she has the experience from the player standpoint of being on the floor, and she's now just she just recently got done with her playing campaign and being coached on the floor. She had to being able to exhibit what her coaches are asking her to do, and now she gets to turn around and translate that to what the players are expected to do day in and day out. So phenomenal teacher, phenomenal woman, phenomenal heart, and just is a great ambassador for what we're trying to do.
You mentioned Jessica Gajewski and a little bit of the surrounding cast around her, but could you just talk more about players that are returning that you think can step up this year and take a bigger role?
I do. We'll talk about just some of the returners specifically that were out last year because of injury, but Casey Rarick is having a phenomenal preseason and had a great summer, healthy, feeling good, and she's picked up right where she left off from her freshman year. So she's doing a good job, and will be expected to play a big role in what we're trying to do this season. August Touchard, coming off an ACL, is doing a great job as well. Full practice. She's contributing, and will only get better through just the day in and day out of what it takes to come back from that injury. But she's doing a great job. She'll be expected to also partake in what we're doing. Bree Mobley, who was a transfer semester last year, who set out in the spring and then has to set out this fall, and she'll be back at Christmas time. She's a great player for us, and she's going to do a fantastic job in this conference. When it's all said and done, I expect her to be a first-team all-conference player. And so those are three specifically, and then Tanisha Daniels is a post player who's having a great, starting off doing a great job, and expecting big things from her as well in the post position. New additions: Marina Laramie, graduate transfer from East Carolina. Anaya Baker, graduate transfer from San Jose State, and Laura Marcos Canedo, graduate transfer from University of South Florida. All three have great experience. All three are talented. All three are going to help us tremendously this year. Leadership, work ethic, just the roles that they're going to be playing this year is just, again, they played a lot of college basketball, some through a lot of great experience. And so we're looking to capitalize on their experience and just what they're going to bring and add to our team this year.
Last year, the talk was about some of the big changes that were coming to the game, most notably the switch from 20-minute halves to 4 10-minute quarters. After a year, how do you think that change went? How did it affect your coaching strategy?
I think it was good. I think the 4 quarters alone, adds just a little different dimension. Not so much of the timeout piece, but just that you can really sell the 4-quarter piece. You're trying to win as many quarters as possible. I think there's just that little break in between the 2 10-minute periods is good to kind of either refocus or continue doing what you're doing. And but I think also being able to advance the ball, I think that's big. Like that piece of in the games, and so that you either have to, it's either for you or you have to coach against that piece, whatever the other team's doing, and counter that. So I like that. Also like the fouls. I think that kind of cleaned up the game a little bit. Helps you to really to emphasize just your player control and just being able to play defense without putting the other team on the free throw line. So I think it can work for you and can really work against you if you're not disciplined enough.
This question's from Greg Luca from The Monitor in McAllen, Texas. How have you learned to deal with the travel demands of the WAC? How difficult is it? And is there anything you've changed or figured out to make the road trips more manageable?
Good question. Fortunately for us at Grand Canyon, when we were Division II, we had everything was a flight for us. So we were always traveling, just like we're doing now at the WAC, and so we're used to that. The players may not always be used to that, but at the same time, it's something that we've always been at. We've been a good road team. We've been able to play well on the road, and I think that just comes to making sure that we have kind of not so much a strict schedule, but just making sure the details are in place, making sure that we try to make it as convenient for the student athletes as possible, and making sure that they understand the schedule and the expectation on the road. And so it's again something as our staff, me specifically as a coach, being at Grand Canyon for 11 years, it's just something that we've been able to to work out through experience, and it's just something that it can be a lot of travel, but thankfully we try to find the best flights available and try to stay in the best places that are convenient to the locations we're playing at, and just make the most of it and not let that be a stressor and while you're on the road.
We had another question from Greg Luke at The Monitor. What do you envision the WAC looking like in terms of membership a few years down the line, and do you anticipate stability or possible changes in the future?
Great question. The landscape of college athletics is always looking to change from big conferences, football driven. So it really depends on what schools independently are looking for. And so I think, that's a great question, and it could be a year, it could be 3 years, 4 years, but I do definitely see changes coming down the road in the WAC.
Okay. Thank you for joining us, Coach.
Appreciate it. Thanks for being here.